Every time I sit in this chair, the whoosh that goes through me is, gosh, just an incredible feeling. Thank you.
We don't call it the hot seat for nothing.
No. And I'm sitting in the hot seat because I feel I come up with questions, and as soon as I come up with them, I can hear the answer. So I do know that I'm tapped in, but it's like, Abraham, you do such a great job of babysitting my intellect. And so I have a couple of questions I do so much better if I hear the answers from you, especially on the tapes over and over. So here's the first one. I've learned about muscle testing for several years. And the curiosity I have is that like a T1 line to our inner being?
Give us more detail about the process itself.
A person might use the body to determine if they resonate with a belief. And then through certain processes, they may neutralize the emotion or the belief. And it feels like it's a communication with the inner being, because it's always going to be pure positive emotion on the emotional set point.
Well, it seems logical, doesn't it, that when you have an attitude or an opinion or a belief about something, and you offer it regularly, that everything that is up close and personal to you would be affected by that vibration. So it's logical that your physical body could take on definable, noticeable characteristics that match your beliefs. And that as your beliefs change, that those things would change too. Sometimes, and we think this is what you are suggesting, in other words, we are always encouraging a refocusing of thought, which changes the vibration, which then affects everything. And are you suggesting that instead of changing the thought first, that you change something in action and then let the thought come round to the change in the action?
No, the opposite. Change the thought first, the deep-seated or the core, the seed.
And then then do the muscle testing to see if it is corresponding?
Yes.
Well, we think that is a very valid approach. It is logical, isn't it?
It is, and last week I was introduced to a person who uses that along with technology. And he calls it, the human body has your hardware, and then you have your software, all that stuff that we condition ourselves with. But to get to
that is a very good approach.
So to get to the essence of the inner being is what I'm. That's how I'm taking his instruction. He's actually gotten together with some German scientists and put together with wave technology a machine, a device that literally changes your dial from 98.6 to 98.1.
Well, then it isn't the opposite, as you say. It's the other. In other words, the contraption is for what?
To change your frequency.
To change the frequency of what?
Oh, to change where you're vibrating to be in alignment with what your desire or intention is.
So it is the backwards approach to it. In other words, it's changing the vibration of the being to match the vibration of the mind, rather than offering the vibration of the mind so dominantly that it then affects the vibration of the being.
Okay. Yes, the second. Have we progressed that really is not snake oil? I mean, it really works?
No, it's snake oil. It may not be snake oil, but it would fall in the category like hypnosis. It would not be long-lasting.
Not long-lasting.
In other words, it is, as far as we can see, the backwards approach to it. Unless someone has an dramatic enough experience with it that it changes now the way they look at things.
And that would be because of their intention?
But that would take an explanation of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Are you following this? In other words, we're talking about this action journey and this emotional journey. And as you are focusing and feeling, that's your emotional journey. And what is sort of the sum total of what you've been living, and it's what's manifested now. It's where I am. An action journey would be, I've got bills I can't pay. An action journey would be, I have plenty of money. In other words, it's how things are right now. It's the way I see my life, and it's usually the way other people see my life too. In other words, it's sort of what I've come to. And then there is the emotional journey, which is the way I feel about all of that. So what we are suggesting is you have tremendous amount of leeway in the way you feel about what is once you know that. So we're encouraging finding different ways of looking at what is so that what is can change. And this may be falling in that category too, although it feels a little bit more to us like it's adjusting what is so that you can then observe what is and have a different feeling response to what is. And it doesn't surprise us that that is technology that is coming up, because humandom has been wanting to control and change conditions for a very long time. In other words, people think that's the way to go about it. It isn't. Let's change the condition so that we can have a better feeling response to the condition.
I agree. I see that.
Yes.
One last question. This one's more personal. So Esther channels the group Abraham to teach us about the laws of attraction.
Esther channels infinite intelligence, and you can call it anything you want. Abraham's just first in the phone book.
That's so good. And I've accepted that I channel a team that comes through, and I've signed up for helping people connect to their inner being. What's you answered that question, didn't you? It's the infinite, right? I wanted to know what the group is and what their intention is with me, coming through me.
Well, the intent that you are, as you are reaching for that, has everything to do with that. And you can tell by the way it feels. And the reason that we answered you, we are sort of smart-alecky about it for a reason, is because we really do not think it is advantageous to anyone to try to quantify infinite intelligence. And we do understand that it's nice to have a label so that because you're accustomed to communicating in that way. But you have listened to enough that we have offered, and listened to enough different people from enough different perspectives, asking enough different questions to understand that we're as broad or as narrow or as shallow or as deep as the question that is being offered, you see. And so labeling us or labeling that which is coming forth from you is not important at all. People want validation, but we can't even give you that. In other words, we can't even give Esther validation because we have no way of proving from where we come from, because we are from nowhere. Non-physical really means non-place, you see. And so if you are wanting some sort of a label in order to define something, give it up and just trust the way it feels, and let law of attraction bring to you those who are ready for that which you are about.
It works that way.
It
Thank
does
you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. I'm still so exalted from this couple's...
Point that microphone right at you. There you have it.
I should know better. So I have something much more mundane to talk about.
There is not any of that.
All right.
The nitty-gritty of your life is the fingers in the clay.
Great. I'm in a relationship that is...
Oh, well, that.
Yeah. In which I'm experiencing an extraordinary amount of contrast. And I've been working at focusing on that which I like about this partner, and appreciating all the good bits. And but then that removes some of the contrast. And does that mean I have to stay with him?
Well, if you've made up your mind that you're going, no matter how well they shape up, then just go. Don't put yourself or them through the torture of coming into alignment with who you really are. Oh, wait, that's not torture, is it? Here is the thing, and we appreciate the clarity and the fun within your question. When you focus, when you train yourself, and it takes some work because they've been showing things to you that you didn't want to see and that you didn't like when you saw it. And so when you train yourself to look beyond those things and to really emphasize the best parts, so that you clean up your vibration about this person and about this relationship. What happens is that relationship, while that person could be all of those variety of things to the other people in their life, they show you less and less of the unwanted things, because fewer and fewer of those unwanted things are active in your vibration. If you see a person, if you are living or working with a person who has some things that you adore and some things that you abhor, and you even-handedly focus on all of them, so you keep all of them active in your vibration, then you hold all of them to you. Now, let's say that this person is really leaning, in terms of their life and in terms of the way they interface with most people, really leaning negatively, and you are really focused positively. Well, what happens is, as you insist on offering a vibration that feels good to you while you offer it, and they insist on being some of all that they are, and you insist on just looking at the best parts, law of attraction is going to move you into different places, because your purer and purer and purer vibration jives less and less and less with their mixed vibration. Usually what happens with most people is that they don't clean up their vibration that well. So you look at the good stuff, you look at the bad stuff, you look at the good stuff, you look at the bad stuff. So you just walk in lockstep together for a long, long time. So we like to say that anyone is as good to you as you let them be. Because they are responding to your vibration, and you've taught each other your vibrations. In other words, you can watch any parent-child relationship, any husband and wife relationship, any employer-employee relationship. You can watch any relationship, and if you have a little bit of knowledge about law of attraction, you can see how they are making this dance together. And the way you treat me or I treat you is really more this third entity, which is our relationship, which we have created together. And one or the other of us could not have created us without both being part of the mixture. In other words, nobody else is treating you any way. It's the way your energies and the other energies are coalescing, you see. So we like to say, clean up your vibration, not to fix the relationship, but because it feels good to you now.
Right.
And then let law of attraction do one of two things. Either make this relationship wonderful as you want it to be, or bring you another relationship that is wonderful as you want it to be. But you don't have to micromanage that. You just want to manage your own vibration and let law of attraction do the sorting of things out. So a really good rule of thumb is if you think you've been cleaning up your vibration and irritating things are still every day present in your vibration,
Guess
you haven't
what?
cleaned your vibration up as much as you think you have.
Right, yeah. I'm just starting, but it's fun.
One woman said to us, as we encouraged this about an ex-husband, "Oh, Abraham, I don't want to get back together with him. I don't even want to have lunch with him." And we said, we're not teaching you alignment with your source so that you will reconstitute this relationship. We're teaching you alignment with source to reconstitute that relationship. And once that relationship between you and who you are is reconstituted, then every other relationship will take on a new face. And many of you are noticing this. As you get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, many of those old friends don't match anymore. And you're not writing them all farewell letters. You're just not hooking up with them as much. They're just not calling. Circumstances and events just aren't accommodating. Sometimes even when you mean to get together with them, it just seems like you can't because you're on vibrational differences, you see. And then sometimes you feel guilty because you think you should go back and do something about that. But we wouldn't. We would let law of attraction be our perfect manager of all of that sort of thing. Yes. So never again apologize to someone, "I'm sorry we're not getting together." Instead say, "Hey, I'm so glad to see you. We aren't seeing much of each other. We must be on different vibes."
The truth?
Esther has been saying for years, "You're zigging while I'm zagging." She just didn't know exactly what she meant. And that is a good way of saying that. In other words, it doesn't mean one or the other of us is right and one or the other of us is wrong. We're just not jiving like we once did, you see. Yes.
Good.
And sometimes that's a really good thing.
Thank you.